In today's Reddit story, "He's too dumb to question it. My wife laughed as she secretly tricked me into raising another man's baby. He'll never find out." I just stayed silent until the day she opened a letter and realized she'd just signed away full custody to the real father. My name is Ethan, 32M, and for the past 5 years, I thought I had a solid marriage with my wife, Lena, 30F. We weren't perfect, but I loved her. She was charming, kind, at least that's what I thought. A few months ago, she dropped a bombshell. "Ethan, I'm pregnant." At first I was stunned. We had agreed not to have kids yet. Lena had insisted she was still on birth control. But before I could even process my emotions, she looked at me expectantly, almost like she was waiting to see how I'd react. I played along, smiling and hugging her, though something about her energy felt off. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling. The math wasn't adding up. She was supposedly on birth control. We hadn't been intimate as often lately, due to my work schedule. The last time we were together wasn't even in the right time frame for conception. Doubt crept in, but still, I didn't want to assume the worst. I convinced myself, maybe accidents happen. Maybe it's just a miracle baby. But my gut told me something was wrong. The moment everything clicked, 2 weeks later, I was in the living room when I heard Lena giggling on the phone. She was in the kitchen, not even bothering to lower her voice. "Oh my God, he has no idea," she snickered. "I swear, Ethan's too dumb to ever question it. He'll never find out." My stomach dropped. She was talking about me. She lowered her voice, making it harder to hear, but at that point, I didn't need to. I sat frozen on the couch, my mind racing. Find out what? Find out that the baby wasn't mine? That she had been cheating? That she had planned this? I clenched my jaw, forcing myself to breathe. My instinct was to barge in and confront her right there. But no, she was too confident, too smug. She thought I was clueless. That meant I had the advantage. I took a deep breath and silently walked out of the house. I wasn't about to make accusations without proof. If I was going to take her down, I needed evidence. Check her phone? Too risky. She was protective of it. Look through our bank statements? Not helpful. Track where she goes? Bingo. That night, I planted a small GPS tracker in her car. Nothing illegal, just a simple location-sharing device tied to our family's shared network. If she wasn't hiding anything, there'd be no issue. 3 days later, I checked the data. Her regular stops all made sense: work, grocery store, gym. But one new address kept appearing late at night, an apartment complex across town. My pulse quickened. This was it. I drove over and parked a block away. I wasn't going to storm in. I just needed to see. I waited, and sure enough, at exactly 10:45 p.m., Lena's car pulled into the lot. A man stepped out of a third-floor apartment and walked toward her. He was smiling. They hugged. She kissed him. I felt sick, but I still needed to know who the hell he was. I snapped a few discreet photos and ran them through social media searches. Within minutes, I had his name. Marcus, 35M, a former coworker of hers. Recently divorced, no kids. This wasn't just some random affair, this was planned. I drove home in silence. A million emotions ran through me: rage, betrayal, disgust. But underneath it all, a new feeling emerged. Clarity. I now knew the truth. She had been cheating. She was pregnant with another man's child. She had no idea I had caught her. And that was my greatest weapon. I wasn't just going to leave. She was going to suffer. I sat in my car for almost an hour that night, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. Everything inside me wanted to storm into that apartment, confront Marcus, and scream at Lena for betraying me. But I didn't. Because if I confronted her now, she'd just lie. She'd gaslight me, cry, and say, "It was a mistake," or "It's still your baby, Ethan. You'll be a great dad." No, she needed to believe she had me under her thumb. I wasn't just going to leave. I was going to take everything from her. I needed proof. Hard, undeniable proof. The affair had photos of her with Marcus. The paternity fraud? Not yet. Legal protection? I needed a lawyer. First, I started digging into her phone records. I pulled up our shared phone bill, which logged all outgoing calls and texts. Hundreds of calls to Marcus. Late-night texts every single day. A few days before she announced the pregnancy, she texted him. I told him. He totally bought it. I took screenshots of everything and backed them up. Now I had direct evidence of deception. Since I couldn't legally demand a paternity test yet, I had to be smart about it. One evening, I casually brought up genetics. Hey, did your parents ever have any weird genetic conditions? Lena, why? I was reading about how doctors are doing early genetic testing on newborns. They can catch diseases early now. Her eyes didn't even flicker. She had no idea what I was doing. A week later, when she went to the doctor, I called the clinic. Hey, I just want to confirm something. My wife is pregnant, and I want to make sure they do a full genetic screening when the baby is born. Nurse, of course, many parents opt for it. Would you like to add the full panel? Yes, I heard that includes paternity confirmation too, right? That's correct. I just got her to unknowingly agree to a DNA test at birth. Here's something a lot of men don't know. If you sign the birth certificate, you're legally on the hook for child support, even if the baby isn't yours. I needed to make sure I didn't sign anything. So I called my lawyer. Hypothetically speaking, what happens if a married man finds out his wife is pregnant with another man's baby? Are you asking for a friend? Yeah. Let's say the wife commits paternity fraud. Can he avoid child support? Yes, but only if he contests paternity immediately and refuses to sign the birth certificate. Now I knew exactly what I had to do. As long as I refused to sign, I was legally free. I needed her to sign away custody to the real father. But how do you make someone sign something without realizing it? That's when I had an idea. One night, I sat Lena down and acted excited about the baby. Hey, I've been thinking, we should plan ahead, just in case something happens to us. Like, legally. What if we both got sick? We should set up a document that ensures the baby is taken care of, right? She shrugged, not even looking at the papers I slid in front of her. What was buried inside? A clause that transferred custody rights to the biological father in case of a dispute. She didn't even read it. She just signed. Now, all I had to do was wait for the DNA results. I kept playing the role of the loving, supportive husband while she secretly laughed behind my back. She still thought I was too dumb to ever figure it out. She had no idea that her entire world was about to collapse. For weeks, I kept up the perfect husband act. I still rubbed her belly. I still talked about baby names. I still let her believe she had me completely fooled. But every morning, I checked my email like a man waiting for a bomb to drop. Then, one day, it arrived. Subject, genetic screening results, confirmation of parentage. I opened the email and scrolled down until I saw it. Paternity test, 0.0%, probability of relationship. There it was, cold, undeniable proof. Lena's entire plan just collapsed. I wasn't the father, and legally, I never would be. I exhaled slowly, my heart pounding, not with panic, but with satisfaction. Most men would have stormed into the house, screaming. I didn't, because Lena still thought she had me trapped. That night, I walked into the kitchen, calm and quiet. She was scrolling through her phone, sipping tea, completely oblivious. I slid an envelope across the table. Lena, the hospital sent over the genetic results. I thought you'd want to see them. She barely glanced up, smiling. Oh, finally. See, I told you there was nothing to worry about. Then she opened it, and I watched her face drop. What the hell is this? She frantically scanned the document, her fingers tightening around the paper. Ethan, this has to be a mistake. It's not. I slid another document across the table. Do you remember when I told you we should ensure the baby's legal protection? Her eyes flicked to the paperwork. Her own signature stared back at her. Clause 7b. In the event of any paternity dispute, full parental rights are assigned to the biological father. Ethan Carter, me, waives all paternal rights. Marcus Gray, her lover, assumes legal responsibility. Her breath hitched. Ethan, no, you tricked me. No, Lena, I just let you believe I was dumb. Her hands were shaking. Wait, this doesn't matter. Marcus won't take the baby. I'll still... Her phone buzzed on the table. I smiled. You should answer that. She snatched her phone and answered. Lena, Marcus, Lena, what the hell did you do? What are you talking about? I just got a legal notice from family court saying I'm listed as the father. Baby, don't worry, you can just deny it. Are you an idiot? I have 30 days to contest it. If I don't, I'm legally the father by default. Wait, what? That's not how this works. It is now. You signed papers saying I'm the father. But, Marcus, you said you'd be there for me. I'm not paying for a kid I never wanted. I'm moving to another state. Click. He hung up. She turned to me, her mouth opening and closing. Ethan, you can still fix this. Please, just say you'll be the dad. Please. I stood up. Lena, I was never this baby's father. You made sure of that. I grabbed my keys and headed for the door. Ethan, wait, Lena screamed. I walked out. After Marcus abandoned her, Lena had only one option left: try to drag me back in. She knew I had legally removed myself from the child's life, but she still believed she could manipulate the system to get money from me. So she did the one thing desperate people do. She took me to court. Lena's argument: Your Honor, Ethan was my husband during my pregnancy. Legally, he should be responsible for the baby. I sat in the courtroom, completely calm. I had been waiting for this. Her lawyer stood up dramatically, launching into a speech about marital obligations and financial responsibilities. Your Honor, my client was deceived into signing documents she did not understand. She is now the single mother of a child, and we are seeking child support from her husband. I just smirked and turned to my lawyer. Your Honor, we have overwhelming evidence that Mrs. Carter knowingly committed paternity fraud. And then we dropped the bombshell. First, we submitted the DNA test results. Proven, I was not the father. Proven, Lena was fully aware she had cheated. Second, we presented the signed custody clause. Proven, Lena voluntarily signed a legal document transferring parental responsibility to Marcus. The judge leaned back in his chair and sighed. Mrs. Carter, did you knowingly deceive Mr. Carter about the child's paternity? Lena swallowed hard. I mean, I thought maybe it could be his. Mrs. Carter, answer the question. Yes. Boom. She had just destroyed herself. The judge turned to Lena's lawyer, looking unimpressed. Your client's entire case is based on deception. Mr. Carter is under no legal obligation to support this child. My name was legally removed from anything related to the child. The court dismissed Lena's case immediately. Lena looked like she wanted to cry, but the final blow was yet to come. Since Marcus never contested the paternity notice in time, the court legally recognized him as the father, which meant they dragged him into this mess. He tried to argue his way out of it. Your Honor, I never agreed to this. She tricked me. Mr. Gray, did you contest the paternity claim within the legal time frame? No, but then under the law, you are the legal father. Your options are as follows: take full custody or pay child support. Marcus's face turned white. I can't take care of a baby. Judge, then you will be required to pay child support for the next 18 years. Lena whipped her head around, horrified. Wait, what? You have to take responsibility, Marcus. Like hell I do. This is your kid, not mine. I just sat there, watching them destroy each other. Marcus was legally forced to pay. Lena had no financial support from me. She was officially abandoned and alone. After the court case, Lena lost everything. She was stuck raising a baby alone. She had no financial support from me. Marcus disappeared after the ruling, but he still had to pay child support. She called me multiple times, begging me to reconsider. I never answered. I finalized my divorce. I moved to a new city, cutting off everyone from my past. I met someone new, someone who actually respects me. And Lena? She was stuck in a life she thought she could force me into. She had gambled and lost everything.